Fashion, they used to call those days when people's pants, they call it the bell-bottom pants. We used to wear a shirt that is very psychedelic in fashion. For me, one of the fashion that I do get into the trend is to imitate the Beatles, and they like to keep their hair long, which in those days men are not supposed to keep your hair long. And I used to go to school with long hair, and that is the time when I begin to suffer because the prefects will make sure that they'll come and cut away your hair and then will punish you for not keeping the hairstyle that they expect you to keep.
Fashion trends. I used to follow the trends of Lady Diana those days. Okay, that time when we were schooling, so her haircut, her dressings and all that, I don't know, to me I was like just I even tried few times doing her hairstyle, her haircut and all that.
I think in my era we are very simple and we are very conservative. So I still remember my parents, especially my father, no short pants, no hot pants. So you're not allowed to go out of the house with a hot pants, So that is how conservative we are during the time where we are 80s.
I think the fashion that popular right now is like drawing back to the 60s or 70s time. Like nowadays they like to wearing like the pants that have white things, in a down part. So I think it's really popular before. It's like when I was like 60 or something. Yeah.
For me, I will focus more on what is called the sibling relationship. Our siblings, we used to get together to help one another. Our elder brothers will help us in our studies. Although we do have problems and we quarrel and disturb one another at times, but generally when we get to do something, we get to do it together very well. But basically, relationship is about getting along with people, and you have to be very willing to understand yourself as well and accept the other person. No two persons are the same. So that is what I see in interpersonal relationship.
Oh yes, definitely. Complicated, yes, on friends.
I like to compare friendship from Generation Z and your generation.
My generation, I feel that I'm more comfortable with my generation. My generation, whatever things or whatever relationship, whatever you're saying or whatever you're doing with whoever it is kind of very confidential, and it doesn't really move much, and it is all in you, and I feel that it's very safe. I'm in a safe zone. Sometimes I have fear whether you can trust these people. Can you trust this person? But at those days, at my era, trust, I think, is not really a big thing.
My answer would be much simpler during my time comparing now. I mean, if you read in many articles, there are a lot of divorce cases happen nowadays that is rarely happen during our time. When we move to this era, I mean in a more modern era, the number of divorce cases happen increase. So this has been a culture shock to us as well.
Yeah, nowadays it's so complicated because nowadays people are demand for you too much. I mean, it's like, they're asking you to be with him 24 hours, something like that, then they have like negative thinking a lot rather than the old generation, you know what I'm saying? They have put a trust on you a lot, but not in this generation. So.
Whatever hardship that we may have to face would be mostly that of financial, because when you come from a big family, even though the parents are earning quite a big income, it has got to be shared by 11 person. And so in that way, we cannot have everything we want. And we need to learn how to share. We learn how to take care of our own brothers and sisters. I went through all that without thinking that we were suffering, but that was part of our life, and we went through it.
I would say is bringing up children, bringing up the teenagers. The toughest part is, as I say, they are at that time as a teenager when they go through. It's really challenging for me to make things to make them understand. Okay, this is right or this is wrong, or maybe she or he feels that is right, but to me that could not be the right thing that they are making decision. These days, our kids, they have better ideas and their views are different. So at times we will want to consider on what they want to say. So there's totally a different thing that I can't really apply what my mother or my father has applied to me in terms of making decisions. To me, no matter what I go through, to me, whatever difficulties that I go through, I always want to give the best for my children.
I think it's the resources. Alright, in my era, I still remember when we study in classroom, so we tend to use textbooks most of the time. And unlike now, everything you can grab online. So having an iPad and iPhone, to us during that time is luxury, So I think it's the resources that is very hard for us to get whenever you are very thirsty for knowledge, especially. So what we depend on is 100% on the textbook that we have.
Since I was a kid, kind of, type of spoiled girl. Like I always need mom around me, something like that. And then when it comes to secondary school, my dad thinks like, oh no, you cannot be like this. You need to be independent. So when it comes to high school, my dad sent me to a boarding school. It's something like military school. So in that place, I learned a lot, which is like I learned how to, feel how to be poor kind of people. I mean, it's like in that place, you just sleep with pillow, something like that, only without aircon, without fan, and then it's like the only thing you have is only friends. You cannot bring any technologies. Yeah, and then every day you need to wake up at 4 a.m. because there's like a lot of people, there are hundreds sometimes people, and there's only 16 toilets. So you need to wake up early to queuing up for taking showers. Yeah, and then it's really disciplined school, which is like you cannot skip your lunch. Every time you skip your lunch, you will get punishment. Because
what kind of punishment?
It's like, how to say, that time I skipped my lunch and I need to run with the spoon and glass. Yeah, running. Because they did that for you too, so you won't skip your lunch in the future. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
But will you say that it actually teaches you a lot of things?
Yeah, it is. I learned a lot. I mean, it's like from that I learned like how to appreciate friends more, because it's like how to say, it's like if I did something like mistakes, it's not me who get the punishment, it's my friends who will get the punishment. So whenever I did something, I need to think about my friends too. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Yeah.
I'm a very practical person. I don't yearn for things that are already past. what is over is just an experience. One of the fond memories I used to have is my participation and involvement in the Boy Scout. And from there I learned about leadership. I learned about how to get everybody together, to work together. And the experiences we had was good in the sense that we learned how to take care of ourselves. Give you a simple example. Like one of the great things I learned being a scout is we learned how to cook without using any utensils. Like for example, how to cook rice using bamboo, and how to use simple things to wrap a chicken using mud and all this, and leaves, banana leaves, wrap the chicken and put some mud and then bake it, and you get baked chicken.
So the best memory is the time spent in Scout, right?
In my scouting experience, I enjoy it very much.
Best memories will be definitely with my children. For me, everything is my children. You see, they are always there. They are my right eye and my left eye, my son and my daughter.
One very specific one.
Specific one will be with my daughter whenever I'm going to sleep. At times when I want to hug her and sleep, she will be like, at times very seldom I kiss her, but at times when I want to kiss her, she will tell me, you never do this to me, you only do this to your son. So I say, is it? So I will be thinking that I will tell myself that I should do often to her. I'll tell her, no, you're a big girl, you know, Amma likes you, Amma always thinks of you, but it's just that I don't do it. You're kissing me today, after so long, she will tell me. So that part, even me, I would want my mom when she hugs me and she kisses me. You know, I'll be so happy. My mom just passed away about a year back, so I really miss her so much. As I said, you will not appreciate things when they are, at times when they are alive, when they are gone. That's the time that you'll be thinking, I've not done that, I've not done this, too late and all that. So just appreciate whatever things that you're doing.
I think in my days we play a lot of very much older games. I'm not sure y'all play. We play donkey cards. I'm not sure y'all heard about that. Alright, we play a lot of Monopoly. I mean not the online version. I mean the one where we actually have a board. You know, we play about a lot of Scrabbles. And those are the best memory that we have. And we run around the school. Actually, we actually draw a lot of murals because friendships are very important during our days in school. So my best memory happens in school, actually, secondary school. Yes.
So your best memories is actually having fun with your friends?
Yes, yes.
I think my best memories happens when I was in high school. Yeah, because I think like not a lot of people will experience that. I mean, it's like when I was like, studying in military school. Yeah, like what I told you, I learned a lot there, and then I have a lot of friends that I really appreciate them. So yeah.
Of course, we do have regrets, but we do not remain in those regrets. One of the things that I regretted very much was I do not know how to make use of the opportunity that I had. I focused too much of my time on how to help others instead of improving myself and improving the quality of life in my own family. All along in my life as a teacher, I spent more time in improving the affairs of the school where I was teaching and the affairs of people whom I know, to help them and to educate students. And so if you ask me, those were actually very fulfilling and very good, but I regret because I have not spent enough attention to give to myself and the best that I could give to my children.
Not so harsh by saying the word regret lah. Maybe not having more than 2 kids. I thought actually at that time, everybody says, you have 1, 2 kids, okay. But now when I think about it, I really regret of not having more than 2 kids, okay. Because the family is too small with 2 kids. So that is my regret.
I think the time spent with family, I regretted that I don't have majority of my time with my parents now. They are retired, and so I'm busy working. So that is part of the things that I regret the most now. Yeah, you can say I can always make a call, a video call, but that is not to their liking. Parents always prefer to have a human touch. See, so the time spent with my family is very less due to the working load, the working environment that is now. Yeah.
Actually, because my parents is like kind of busy persons, so it's really rare for us to really talk like regular family, I guess. It's like because my father is like always have a business trip, so every time it's really rare for me to meet him and talk like the regular family, like how daughter and father talk. So yeah, I wish we can talk more. That's what I regret actually. Yeah.
Gaps are always there from one generation to the next. This happened because between me and you, for example, I have been young, but you have not been old. So that is where the gap is. So there are many things about you and your generation which I may not understand, but there are a lot of common things that you have to experience that I have been through. In the same way, you have not been old. So what I feel and what I see from my perspective is not something that you can see. It's not that it's difficult to communicate with the people who are younger than us. It's difficult to help them see and feel the things that we had experienced. I think you can still communicate if the person who is older are able to see the thing from the perspective of the younger person, rather than expecting the younger person to come to his level to understand things which they have never experienced before.
Communicating with youngsters these days is quite tough, very tough at times. Communicating with them to make them understand, to me, is like, actually you understand it is wrong, you know it is wrong, and you know which is wrong and which is right, and yet you still want to do it. So why create unnecessary things when you know it is wrong? Why? You know it is wrong, you're supposed to do the right thing, just do it. Why you knowingly it is wrong and yet you want to do it and it becomes a problem? Why? I should be the one asking.
So I think the generation gap is that different style of communication. During my time, we prefer to sit down, have a drink, to talk about what's the problem, and to solve the problem together. However, nowadays we have all the technology. It makes things simpler actually when you look at that point of view, right? At the same time, although it's very simple, we can chat through the video calls and so on, but there's always a human touch, that is not there. So this is, I think, the biggest generation gap that we have. So when I talk to the youngsters, so I have to be in their thinking that everything have to be simple, everything have to be fast and simple. You must be technology savvy as well. So during my time, it is more to house phone calls, So that is the difference.
I think people nowadays like less respect to elder. Yes, and like they treat other people like friends more to open-minded. If you throw back to the old generation, there's like really appreciate the elders more than this generation.
Well, my message is this: be balanced.
Balancing.
Yeah, balance. Balance in life is very important. Anything that is done in excess has its danger. The act of balancing anything is not easy. You got to know not to go too much over this side or too much over that side. So it's a balance, just like in your studies. Too much of learning, you become a bookworm. Too much of interacting with activities, you become academically weak. So you need to have a balance of both.
Do good, be nice, think positive in whatever you're doing. Always think positive. Do never allow the negative part develop in you. If you're going to allow the negative part develop in you, then you will not see the success in you. Very important thing is being yourself. You don't have to be someone else to show something.
Well, always think of your parents and your family, to always spend time with them. So always be there with them when they need, and always have a close relationship with your family. That's the most important.